In the image, we see two versions of a musician, each representing different emotional states. The musician on the left is bathed in radiant light, symbolizing love and creativity. Surrounding them are vibrant musical notes and flowing energy, reflecting the joy and freedom that come from aligning one's art with love. On the right, the darker, heavier tones represent envy and frustration. The tangled and clouded energy here mirrors the bitterness and comparison that cloud the musician's vision and purpose. The bridge of light in the middle is a key element. It connects the two versions of the musician, symbolizing the struggle to move from a place of envy to a place of love. This is the fight discussed in the text, the internal battle to break free from comparison and project love, even when it feels difficult. Just as the text says, projecting love is what clears the path for one's purpose, and this is reflected in the brighter side of the image, where love leads to creative flourishing. The image connects deeply to the text's teachings. The dark, tangled side represents how bitterness and jealousy cloud the musician's purpose, while the bright, vibrant side shows how love leads to clarity and alignment. The idea that God is love is visualized through the light bridging the two sides, showing that by choosing love, the musician opens the path to both personal freedom and artistic growth. In this image, the musician sits peacefully, immersed in the act of creating music, while soft beams of light descend from above. These beams symbolize divine inspiration and the sense of higher purpose guiding their musical journey. The floating musical notes signify that their music is not just a personal expression, but a form of worship rising like a prayer. The serene, expansive background highlights the larger, interconnected world that the musician is a part of, reminding them that their passion for music fits into a divine plan, even if it's not immediately visible. This scene ties directly to the point in the text that your passion is not wasted if it's rooted in love and purpose. The light beams represent the divine connection to their purpose, reinforcing the message from Ephesians 2, verse 10, that God has prepared good works in advance, including their musical talent. The peaceful setting reflects the peace that comes from trusting in this higher calling, even when worldly success feels distant. The expansive background illustrates the idea that the musician's work may be touching lives in ways beyond fame or recognition, aligning with the deeper, more spiritual impact their music might have. Just as the text suggests, staying connected to why they create music, rooted in love and purpose, is what gives it its divine value. The image serves as a reminder to trust that their music, no matter how small it may seem, holds meaning in God's bigger plan. In the image, we see a musician kneeling in prayer, holding their instrument, which represents their craft. Their calm and peaceful expression signifies the connection with God that comes from seeking clarity and peace through prayer. Around them, musical notes gently swirl, not to a crowd or audience, but in a soft, divine presence, reflecting the idea that success isn't measured by worldly recognition, but by serving a higher purpose. In the background, small, light-filled figures symbolize others' success, and the musician sends out blessings, representing the practice of celebrating others' wins with love and grace. This image reflects the teachings in point 3. The musician is anchoring their fight in daily prayer, asking God for clarity on their purpose, just as the text encourages. The gentle, swirling musical notes reflect the redefined notion of success, one that isn't about external validation, but about using their gifts for a higher purpose. The light-filled figures represent the breakthrough that comes when we bless others and project love, even when it's challenging. The overall peace and surrender in the image reinforce the idea of trusting God's plan, continuing to make music not for fame, but for alignment with divine purpose. The visual ties into the text steps from prayer to redefining success, celebrating others, focusing on love in music, and trusting the process, showing that this is a journey of inner transformation guided by faith. In this image, the musician stands with arms wide open, bathed in radiant light, symbolizing the freedom that comes from love. The broken chains around them represent liberation from the binds of comparison, jealousy, and ego, echoing the message that love is the key to unlocking personal and creative freedom. The vast open sky with rays of sunlight breaking through signifies divine alignment and connection to a higher purpose. Musical notes freely flow around the musician, symbolizing that their music is now in harmony with this newfound freedom. This visual directly ties to the teaching in the text. Fighting to love is fighting for freedom. The broken chains symbolize freedom from the negativity that holds the musician back, just as the text describes the struggle against comparison and jealousy. The open sky and sunlight represent the release that comes from aligning one's purpose with love, showing how this connection with God brings clarity and freedom. The musician's wide open stance reflects the openness and surrender that come from embracing love both for oneself and others. The musical notes flowing around them show that when love leads the way, the musician's craft also finds freedom, perfectly illustrating how love and music are intertwined in their divine purpose. The overall image radiates the peace and release that comes from choosing love over comparison.